Hey everybody, this is Andrew with the We Are Rising podcast. We are joined by a very special guest today. With us, we got Yusaku Kinoshita, who will be making his debut, USA debut on Dana White Contender Series next Tuesday, August 30th, in the main event, taking on José Henrique. And Kinoshita-san, thank you very much for your time. Yoshiko onegai shimasu.
はい、よろしくお願いしますって。
よろしくお願いします。
はい。
First question, well, I have for you is, well, first off, Tanjobi Omideto, it was your birthday yesterday. What did you do for your birthday?
昨日が誕生日でしたけども、昨日は何をしてそれを言われましたか？
うなぎを食べましたね。
Well, I eat eel, which is very expensive in Japan.
Okay, anything else? Did you go out and celebrate? Or anything big that you did for your birthday besides eat unagi?
試合の前なんで、限られてると思いますけど、うなぎを食べたい以外になんかちょっと、なんだか祝ったりとか、なんか他のことはなんかしましたか？
いや、特に何もしてないですね。いつも、毎年何もしないんで、いつもと一緒です。
Well, nothing specific. It's same like this in every year. I really don't celebrate my birthdays.
Okay. Well, for people that may not be familiar with you, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get into Kakutoki?
それではアメリカのファンは木下選手のことを知らない人がいると思うので、その人のためにの質問なんですけども、一番初めにまず格闘技を始めたのはいつで、どういったことがきっかけでしたか
？6歳の時に極真空手を始めました。理由は特に覚えてないですね。
Well, when I was 6 years old, I began training at Kyokushin Karate. Now, if you ask me the reason why, means that, then I don't actually remember the reason why I began.
Okay, fair enough. So you started out your career in Pancrase, and then you had your first fight in RIZIN. Let's talk a little bit about Pancrase. Actually, we have a question from a fan. Shoot those roots at Surfing Moonwolf. He wants to know, what was your favorite moment while fighting in Pancrase?
それで基本的にはパンクラスとライジンに出たわけですけども、今、ファンからちょっと質問が入ってまして、木下選手に。パンクラスの今までの試合の中で、自分が一番覚えている試合、またはものすごく印象に残っているなんか瞬間とかそういうのがあったら何でしょうか？
やっぱり4月に試合した1ラウンド左蹴りで KO した瞬間が一番印象深いですかね。
Well, if I have to choose one, it has to be that last fight in April when I knocked out my opponent with a knee shot. And that's probably left the biggest impact in terms of my impression.
As somebody who was part of the higher weight classes, 170 welterweight, was there always difficulty in trying to find right opponents in your career? Was that can you tell us a little bit about that? Because there's not a lot of 170 fighters, 185 fighters in Japan. I want to know, was it always difficult trying to find opponents for you for your weight class?
日本は正直なところウェルターとかミドルとかそこらの選手が少ないんで、どうでしょうかね。パンクラスで始めた時からも相手を選んでいくっていうか、試合が組まれるっていうのは難しかったんじゃないでしょうかっていうんですけど、どうですか？
やっぱそうですね。最初は組まれるのが難しかったんですけど、やっぱり自分がインパクトある試合をすれば、強い人と組んでもらえるんで、あんまり気にはしなかったですね。
Well, yeah, it's true. In the beginning, it was a little difficult for me to get fight because of my weight class. But I kept thinking to myself, as long as I leave a profound impact on each fight and get stronger, then I will get a fight. So I never really thought about that, and I kept on fighting.
One of also unique things about your career so far is that you have not entered the third round. You have finished all of your fights. And I know it's kind of a dumb question to ask MMA fighters. I feel like MMA fighters are always going for the finish, but in your case, I'll ask that. Is that always something that is always on your mind? Is always trying to finish your opponents in the most as fast as possible?
木下選手は今まで3ラウンドまで行った試合が全くない。つまり全部、まあ、フィニッシュしてるっていうことなんですけども、まあ、ほとんどの MMA ファイターがもちろんフィニッシュを求めるんで、この質問は馬鹿げた質問かもしれないですけども、ファイトスタイルとしては常にフィニッシュを求めてますかというのと、まあ、その理由は何でしょうかね。モチベーションというか、それに対しての。
うん、やっぱり、そうですね。常にフィニッシュ狙ってるんですけど、やっぱりこう、やっぱ見てる人は、どっちかがやられるシーンがやっぱ見たいと思うんで、それを求められるなら、僕は別に自分がやられてもいいし、僕も突っ込んでいくっていう感じですかね。
Well, I mean, of course, to answer your question, yes is my answer, but this is how I see it. All the audiences and the fans, they're there to watch either one of us will get either knocked out or get finished. That's the most exciting thing they want to see. So I want to provide that to the fans. So I'm actually going into that cage with the mentality that I don't mind getting finished too. So I'm going for the finish as well. That's my mentality.
Mhm. And so let's talk about also your RIZIN fight, which is how definitely a lot of foreign international fans came across you for the first time, where you won initially, but then minutes later or an hour later, whatever it was, there due to Shinya Aoki complaining, you got the fight reversed into a DQ. I want to know, how did you feel when you learned that when they made that reverse that decision, make it into a DQ?
海外のファンにとっては、木下選手のことを初めて見たのが、多分ほとんどの場合がライジンの試合だったと思うんですよ。で試合でもちゃんとしっかり勝っていたのに、まあ、青木真也選手とかが、まあ、クレームしたとかいうことになってますけども、まあ、それが理由かわからないですけども、まあ、それが数時間後にはもう反則負けになっちゃったという、まあ、全く覆されちゃったんですけども、そのことに関してはどう思いますか？
やっぱり最初はちょっとよく状況が分かってなかったんですけど、やっぱりその反則をしているのは事実なんで、そこを良しとしちゃうと、今後、そのルールが曖昧になっていくかなって思ったんで、受け入れるしかなかったですね。
Well, first, I couldn't really grasp the entire situation when I was notified about the DQ. But right now, when I look back, and I did grab a case, so it means which was illegal. So if you start allowing that, then that won't be good for the professional sports. So I guess I have to accept that. あ、いなくなった。あ
Oh, sorry.
Yes, sir.
On oh, sorry. Oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
can you? Oh, I'm back. I'm back. So on paper, the fight is a loss, but do you consider that fight a loss, or do you consider it still a win for you, inside like your heart or your soul, or something like
じ
that?
ゃあ、戦績的には負けがついたんですけども、まあ、自分の気持ちの中では、まあ、あの試合は勝ってたなみたいな、そういった考えはありますか？
そうですね。誰が見てもやっぱ僕が勝ってたっていうのは分かると思うんで。で、やっぱりこう、目標は UFC やったんで、黒をつくのはちょっとショックやったんですけど、内容さえ見てもらえばいいかなって思いましたね。
Well, I mean, when anybody who see that fight know that I won that fight and I was winning that fight. So, in that sense, I think it's okay. But I was always looking to get into the UFC. So getting this loss on the record is a big thing. So I was a little bit shocked about it. But I trust in UFC matchmakers' ability to see who is a better fighter.
And let's go on to your UFC fight next week, next Tuesday, August 30th, taking on Jose Henrique. Very unique, well, very similar record to you as well. He's undefeated. But also as a welterweight, I think this is his first fight at welterweight. Also very tall, a very tall gentleman. I think he's about 6'5". Have you done any research on your opponent? If you have, do you have any thoughts about him, his fighting style? Yeah, give us your thoughts on him.
どうですかね、それでまあ、その試合を理解してくれたっていうことがあったので、やっぱりこう UFC でこのチャンスを、まあ、UFC に入れるチャンスを、まあ、来週の火曜日つかめたわけなんですけども、まあ、相手の選手はミドルから落としてきた初めてのウェルターの試合で、 まあ2メートル近くあって背の高い選手ですけども、どうですかね。もちろん映像は見てると思いますけども、印象とか、まあ、言える範囲でどんなことを考えてますか？
やっぱりそのミドル級でもそんなにでかくなかったんで、まあ、なんていうんですかね、フィジカル的な心配はほとんどなくて、あと、まあ、身長に関しては、まあ、その師匠の稲垣さんが、セームシュートとやったっていうのを聞いて、その実際試合をすれば、あんまり気になれへんっていうのを聞いて、あんまり気にはしてないですね。
Well, I mean, first of all, of course, I watched his fight, but he's not a big middleweight. He was more like a small middleweight to begin with. So, in terms of a physical total strength, I'm not totally concerned about that at all. In terms of his height, actually, my master Inagaki has fought same short before, and he told me that hey, if you face the guy in the ring, it's not that big a difference. So, I'm not really concerned about the height difference either.
Mhm. We actually have a question again from Shoot Those Roots, excuse me, who wants to know who will be in your corner for your Contender Series fights and why did you choose those particular people?
まあ、これまたファンからハードコアな質問だと思うんですけども、今度の試合のセコンドは誰がつきますかと。ね、なんでその人を選んだんですかと、その人選の理由を教えてくださいって言ってきたんですけど。
人生、名前出した方がいいですか？
いいですよ、全然構わないですよ。
いつも打撃を教えてもらってる、佐藤コーチっていう人と、まあ、よくこう一緒に、まあ、所属は違うんですけど、練習一緒になるパンクラスのランカーの秋葉大輝選手がついてくれます。
Well, I'm putting two persons on my corner. One is Mr. Sato, which is my striking coach, and also another pro fighter who fights in Pancrase. His name is Taiki Akiba. He's not a part of my team, but I train with him a lot, so he's coming along with me for the training purposes.
Also, Shoot Those Roots wants to also say that growing up, that one of two people from Kinoshita-san's gym that he loves is Maeda Yoshihiro and Kitakata Daichi, and that he will also be cheering for you in your fight, Kinoshita-san.
今なんかこのファンの方はかなりハードコアで、町田義郎さんと北方大地さんが大好きだそうで、それに続いて、木下さんのことも応援しますので、頑張ってくださいってことなんですが、
はい。
その二人とはやっぱりもちろん交流ありますよね。
いや、そうですね。ちょっと、いつも僕がデビューして毎試合、北方さんにセコンドついてもらってたんですけど、今回、僕の所属の稲垣組の人が誰一人ワクチン打ってなくて、これで来れる人がいなかったんで、こういうセコンドになりましたね。
Well, let me tell you this, like Mr. Kitakata, he has been cornering all my fights since the first professional fight. But here's the real reason why I chose this corner man. Every single teammate or coach at the Inagaki Gumi, they haven't got vaccinated. So without a two vaccination, they can't come. So I just had to choose another choice.
I got you. Okay, understandable. Well, also with your fight coming up as well, there's a lot of firsts. Your first international opponent, first fight outside Japan, and also not to mention, as of now, is scheduled to be the main event of the show. So I'm just curious to know, with all these firsts, do you feel extra pressure going to this fight, or is this kind of like almost kind of like a good like this extra pressure is almost good in a sense, and like you get all these firsts in your Contender Series fight.
今回の試合って、木下選手にとっては初めての外人選手、初めての海外での試合。で、しかもメインじゃないですか。つまり初ばっかりなんですけども、こういったものっていうのは自分にとってエキストラのプレッシャーになっちゃいます。それとも逆にそれがすごいモチベーションになる。どっちですかね？
もう僕はあんまり物事を深く考えないタイプなんで、ラッキーみたいな。より注目してもらえるなって感じですね。
Well, I must tell you, I'm the type of person who doesn't really think things deeply. So I'm actually taking this as, oh, I'm lucky. I got a main event spot. I'm lucky I got this chance. So I'm just lucky. That's how I feel.
Okay, gotcha. Also, with this fight, you win. People 9 out of 10 times go on to UFC. I'm curious to know what do you a lot of Japanese fighters at the higher weight classes unfortunately have not been successful in UFC or have really not gotten far. I want to hear from you. What do you think that you can bring to UFC and why you could be successful at in their welterweight division?
今回このコンテンダーズに勝ったら、まあ大体9割ぐらいは契約を取れると思うんですけども、まあ契約を取ったとしても、今までのこの UFC で、まあ、試合をしてきた日本人選手、特に中量級とか、まあ、重量級はいないんですけど、まあ、中量級とかでもあまりいい結果を残せてないんですけども、このウェルターという階級で木下選手がどういったインパクトを残せるか、そしてなぜここでも勝ち上がっていけるかっていうのは、まあ、話せる範囲でいいんですけども、自分のその強みみたいなもんですけど、それはどこだと思いますか？
もう一回いいですか？
まあ、要はだからウェルターっていう階級であまり日本人勝ててないじゃん。要するに中量級、
はい
重量級で。そのその階級で木下選手、俺だったらここはできるっていうのはなぜそこに自信があるかっていう。
何ですかね、やっぱ、そのフィジカル的な差とかはやっぱほとんどないと思ってて、やっぱあとは、やっぱそのメンタル的な問題だと思うんで、僕、結構その、図太いタイプなんで、あんま気にせずに、外人だろうが、なんだろうが、ぶっ倒せると思ってるんで、問題ないと思ってます。
Well, here's what I think. I really don't think I have this advantage physically because I'm big and I'm confident about my physical strength. So my approach is this: I don't care if he's from another country or from my country or from anywhere. I feel I can beat up everybody. So that's my approach to this fight or to my career.
I'm curious to know, did you happen to see the UFC main event this past weekend for the welterweight championship, Kamaru Usman and Leon Edwards?
じゃあ同じウェルター級の世界タイトル戦が先週末、ウスマンとレオン・エドワーズの試合があって、ああいった結果になりましたけど、あの試合見ましたか？ね、見たらどう思いました？
見ましたね。やっぱりでも、ウスマンは絶対的な存在だと思ってたんで、まさか KO されると思ってなかったですし、でそれを見て、やっぱ、当たれば全然誰でも倒れるし、自分なら誰でも倒せるかなって、逆になんていうんですかね、自信がついたっていうか、感じですね。
Yes, of course I watched that fight, and I always thought that Usman is like invincible. He's like a champion that you can't get beat, but he got beat by the striking. So that actually made me realize that any striking that hits well, and if hits the target, the fighter will go down. So actually, that fight gave me more confidence that I can win this fight.
I also just want to talk about your personality in general, because one of the things I like about you as a fighter is your personality. At the main event of your last fight in Pancrase, you got the crowd really behind you in your post fight comments, and I'm curious to know: are you normally like when you come to in your a lot of Japanese fighters tend to be I guess low energy, not very effusive, not very colorful in their language or their expressions. Has that always been something that you've always, is that just how you are as a person in general?
彼が言うには木下さんって選手としてのそのキャラがすごく面白く感じると。で前回のこの試合の後もなんかマイクパフォーマンスですごい会場の人を沸かしてたけども、そういうことする日本人選手ってあんまりいないと UFC では。どうですかね？それは自分はそういう感じの人間なんですかっていう質問と、なんでそういうことをそういう感じの人なんですかねっていうことなんでね、シさんは。
やっぱり関西人なんで、やっぱ見てる人が楽しんでもらえた方がいいかなって思って、やっぱああいう感じになっちゃいますね。
Well, remember, I'm born and raised in Kansai area. Our roots is entertainer. We have to entertain everybody. So that's my philosophy. That's why I ended up being like that. That's my character.
And so also, I'm curious to know why. So yeah, being from Osaka, we got other fighters that are from Osaka. Reina, as a Kitakata, Akiyama also technically was also born in Osaka. Why why does Osaka, oh, also Hagiwara, your Tomodachi, Hagiwara Kyohei, why does Osaka produce, in your opinion, the best MMA fighters?
大阪って今言った彼が名前挙げた萩原選手だとか、レーナ選手だとか、例えば秋山選手も生まれたそっちの方だけども、どこがポイントでこういった強い選手をこうなんか生み出すなんか力がある街だと思いますか？
やっぱりこう、他に負けたくないっていうやつらが強くなってるって印象ですかね。なんか自分を強く持ってるやつっていうか、ですかね。
Well, I think the people in Osaka has this feeling that we don't want to get beat by anybody else. So I think that's the bottom line, the root of Osaka people. So that's what creates the good fighters.
I see. Also, I've noticed you do not have an MMA nickname now that you're in UFC, and almost every UFC fighter has an MMA nickname. Have you got one planned, or is there something that do you have a MMA nickname planned for your future fight career?
どうですかね、アメリカの選手とか、欧米の選手は UFC ファイターになるとよくニックネームっていうのをつけるじゃないですか。で、木下選手は今のところニックネームないですけども、これからニックネームつける予定はありますかって、またあるんだったらどんなこと考えてますか？
いや、ないですかね。やっぱ、みんなに見てもらって、感覚で決めてもらいたいですね。
Well, I really don't have any specific ideas. But if I have to put a nickname on it, I prefer fans to see it and actually choose my nickname from watching my fight.
Oh, okay, interesting. Okay, gotcha. And as we're coming to the end of this interview, I'm just curious to know. You also had you took your trip first time to United States, as far as I know, Las Vegas a few weeks ago. What do you think of Las Vegas, United States?
この前撮影のためだけにラスベガスに行かれたそうですけども、どうですか？初めてアメリカに行ってみて、ベガスとか見て印象はどういった思いを持ちましたか？
まあ、道広いなとか、建物でかいなって感じですかね。
Well, I mean, I thought the road was wide, building was big, and that's about it.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. With that being said, Kinoshita-san, just like to give you an opportunity to plug your sponsors, SNS, coaches, gym, whoever you want to give a shout out to.
じゃあ最後になりますので、じゃあスポンサーでもファンでもなんかメッセージとかなんかありましたらどうぞ。
これから、この日本からアメリカで UFC で戦って新しいスターになるんで、今回から注目して見ておいてください。
Well, from now on, I'm telling you this, I'm going to make it to the UFC, I'm going to win fights, I'm going to be a star. So please keep watching me and follow my career.
And I want to give you any last comments that you have to your opponents. If you have anything in case he ever tunes into this video, anything you want to say to him, the floor is yours.
もう一つだけ最後に、じゃあ対戦相手に関して何か言いたいことがありましたら一つ。
僕初めて自分より年下のやつと戦うんで、そんなやつには死んでも負けないんで、楽しみにしておいてください。
Well, this is the first time I'm fighting somebody who's actually younger than me. So I'm telling you this right now on the record. I prefer die than getting beat by a younger boy. So just be careful and look forward to this fight.
Okay, great. And you can see Yusaku Kinoshita take on José Henrique at Dana White's Contender Series next Tuesday, August 30th, available on ESPN Plus. And as of now, it is scheduled for the main event. Hopefully sticks that way. And yes, Kinoshita-san, thank you so much for your time. Looking forward to your USA debut. I hope if you win this, I definitely see you going far in the UFC. And good luck in your fight. 頑張りです。
OK。はい、じゃあこれでおしまいですので、ありがとうございます。頑張ってくださいということで。
ありがとうございます。Thank you.